Hello. Hello, hello, hello. How is it going, folks? How's it going? How's it going? Say hello in the chat if you've joined us. It's night before Valentine's Day, and I already see tweets talking about, "Hey, Siddharth, can you stream on tomorrow, Valentine's Day, so we feel less lonely?" Who's that on Twitter? Who was that on Twitter? That was damn funny. That was Bionic. If you're in the chat, say hi. It's a chill stream. We're taking questions. Any questions you have around product design. YouTube, anything. We're taking those and we are just chilling and chatting, and maybe we will play some chess because honestly, no other Minecraft might be downloaded, but I haven't logged in. I wouldn't even remember the password to have the stuff there. So I have to reset that. How are you folks doing? Sumit J is asking, how are you, King? I'm doing good, yeah. I'm doing good. Post recovery phase is better. I mean, end of January I had COVID, so recovering from that took a while. That's why I was missing in action for like the longest time. We see Sumit J, who is here. I see Isha Deshpande, Ayushi Purohit, Manish is here, and Priyanka is here. Hello, folks. Today, thank you for joining in on a Sunday night at 11. How are you folks doing? What are you folks up to? What plans for Valentine's Day? What are the plans? And I'm going to just quickly set up the screen share so we can probably play a match of chess. Once played Among Us. Oh, yeah. Like played Among Us like back in the day. You know, actually, I have Apple Arcade and we can actually play a ton of games from there. For example, there's this game. It's called Motorways. What is it called? Let me look up Motorways. Mini Motorways. Mini Motorways is a game I want to try playing. Any of you played that game? Any of you played Mini Motorways? Probably we should do a Mini Motorways stream if I become good at it. Because basically what happens is, I can actually show you what it practically that game is. I found that, I mean, just the entire game mechanics are very fascinating. I don't know if audio is shared, so you folks will be able to hear the thing as well. Just setting up basic things, folks. Just give me a sec. I want to show you the game. Probably we can look at the trailer. So this is Mini Motorways. I'm just looking at... why is it not opening? Sorry about that. You won't be able to hear anything, so let me just switch that to... All right. Now if we play... play trailer. All right. Let me know if you folks can hear. Oh yeah, you can hear. I hope we don't get copyright strike. I'm gonna mute it. So basically there are these cars and traffic, and yeah, you build motorways to make sure the traffic, stays in lane so you don't miss it out. And if it gets congested too much, there are timers that appear on the building, and you have to make sure that doesn't happen, otherwise you lose the game. So you draw roads, you draw and buildings just appear. And this is the hectic game. RD, yeah, RD is in the chat. Hello, RD. RD wouldn't come to stream online. That's when he gets busy. But he will comment on chat. But for the first time, RD has come to chat. So thank you, RD. Thank you so much personally. I see Sayed Numan in chat. How are you doing? After a long time, I'm seeing you. So I'm thinking of, RD, would you be willing to play some arcade games, Apple Arcade games, because you've been a big fan on stream? I know I never agreed to it, whenever you proposed it for chilling this thing, but how about playing on it on stream? What do you think? Mithil is here, Devansh is here, Prateek is here, Rishabh is here, Alok is here. All these folks are here. All right, Kumar Siddharth is also here. How about new metaverse game, The Sandbox? I've heard about The sandbox. Let's look at that. Game, not game maker. Oh, I have to look this up. Anyway, the season is closed. If I have to like spend Ethereum on this, not happening. Not happening. I'm paying Apple enough money for arcade. Down for sure. All right, he is down. Okay, okay. How many of you want to see in me trying out some games? I mean, I royally suck at most of them, but could try out. Hey, bro, do I need to have a degree in commerce or science to have a job in product manager designer? Please tell. No, you don't need to have a degree in commerce or science. You just need to have a strong portfolio. In fact, what you can do is go check out the second video on my channel. Or actually, I'm going to paste the link. We have a guide specifically made for that. So this is a free guide. I'm just going to paste the link in the chat. You can check this out. All your questions are answered here, but a short answer is no, you don't need those degrees. All right, so mini motorways we're going to try. If you, I'm going to put a poll. If you folks want, we can try. Should we try Apple Arcade games on stream? Do we still do an NFT session? Yes. The only thing is, I mean, that night I would have done it, but that screw up happened. And since then, there is a chance I could get a guest and make it more interesting, but haven't been able to finalize that. If it doesn't get finalized very soon, Vijay Raj, definitely gonna do this stream. I will ask for MetaMask. It will ask for MetaMask. Oh, okay. Just that, just need you to authorize. It doesn't want any, but okay. It's like just log in. All right. Hey, your feedback, almost 6-8 months helped me get my first internship, that too with Byju's. Thanks a lot, man. I owe you one. Hey, Prateek, glad to hear that. Yeah, super glad to hear that. If you're on Twitter or Instagram, and if you can just copy paste that there, that'll be awesome. Otherwise, take a screenshot here and share that around. That really means a lot when that happens for you folks and you come and share it. Thank you so much. That is what all of the feedback and all of the content is for. All right. So majority of you want it. So we're going to do it. I actually have many motorways installed. The only thing is I've not set up the full screen element for this one and would preferably, I don't know. Let me see if we can try it today. We can try playing it. Whoa, 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 whoa. No. You do not go full screen on me like that. Not when I'm streaming. Shouldn't have done that. The graphics, the graphic card can't handle. All right. Can you just, can't it be closed? Sorry about that, folks. I'm just quitting it. No, definitely should not have opened Apple Arcade. And it has frozen the entire screen. Like it's refusing to quit. Damn. Apple, you did me dirty one. Like, you see why I hate Apple at times? Like, it just stuck. It is absolutely frozen in time. Me and Apple, that's why for the longest time, like, my name was Edge Case. Because Apple don't do me good. I have to force quit in Task Manager. There we go. Sorry about that. Okay, I'm going to set that up so we can play that. All right. Taking up some questions. Going to transition the screen because definitely can't play that tonight. Hey, Sid. Hey, Lucid Cannibal. Good to see you. Hey, Siddharth. I'm doing a course on Coursera, Google UX Design. Can you please tell me brief about the user flow and information architecture difference? Alok. So, when we talk about user flow, there are various ways to look at it. There is journey mapping. Mapping is a technique where you can discover possible flows, possible touch points, etc. You can look at customer journey maps or user journey maps, and you will find more of that. User flow diagrams is, in a way, a simplified and codified version of that, like what is the steps that people will take. Information architecture is the overarching thing that helps you, under which all of this will fall. Right. So if I was to show you on my channel, there is a stream where you can watch all of this in much greater detail. and that is here, the secret guide to information architecture. It's a 58-minute stream. Just check it out. Here I've gotten great detail about what are the various techniques available to you in as an information architect, that is a designer, and how you can use those basic techniques again and again in different combinations to make something happen. And this is what most people mean by information architecture is usually sitemap diagrams, and that is not information architecture. As the name suggests, information architecture is practice of architecting information, organizing information, right? So even if you're designing a poster, you are architecting information visually, otherwise, right? Have you seen, many of you would have seen that thing, you will read this first, then second and third, power of graphic design, power of design, and etc. So that is one of the, is basically like principle, how can I forget? Miller's principles, one of the, not Miller's, what am I saying? Not Miller's. Which one was this, yeah? Completely blanking out on the name right now. But that is again using like, you know, basic principles of visual design to architect information visually. So all the details you will find here, a lot of details you will find here. And especially we talk about like how, you know, how can you use the basic flowchart diagrams to explore far more things than traditionally are talked about. So do check that out. I hope that, oh, I'm just talking myself. This is the video. You can go to my channel and this is the video I'm talking about. Just go watch this video, Secret Guide to Information Architecture. And I hope that will help. All right, back to Manish Reddy is here. Long time, I am doing good. Deepthi is saying, bro, what do you think? Is that Deepthi? Yeah, Deepthi is saying, bro, what do you think are negatives to become product managers, UI, UX designer? That's a very good question, Deepthi. So some of the negatives I would say is, it's a creative field, right? So your career path is not as well chalked out as one would believe, because these are new fields, right? And it's not set in stone like something like even engineering is older. So the many paths there are like, you know, very well defined versus design and product management. So in your career, you will always be experimenting with new stuff, and that can get uncomfortable for many people. For many people, that's a very exciting part, right? But for many people, it may feel uncomfortable at times. Of course, it's changing as more corporates and more you know, like big companies are streamlining things and setting precedents. And of course, you know, and if it is, what do you say, you know, about product management and design, there are some other issues as well. Just for example, anywhere a designer will look at a bad font and bad design, they will like, right? When most people will not do that. So that is another one. So these are the two I can think of. But yeah, every profession has pros and cons. Welcome, Manish. Yes, Manish has come after so long. If this is the 4K monitor, it'll be pain always. Yeah, this is a 5K screen, not a 4K screen. It's a 5K screen because I'm Mac. Yeah, so it's gonna be trouble. Hey Sid, when are we again going to review case studies? Kashika, I'm thinking we need some more time for it, and I've been trying to invite a guest for all of the upcoming stream. In fact, that's how like you know, I'm so glad Anudeep randomly decided to show up, because that's the only guest like that's been finalized. Otherwise, dates are becoming an issue. Because I really want to do the first season episode on a theme, and soon, as soon as I can do it, like probably like February, and we'll announce something in March. First week we'll try to do something, but coming soon. I think without information architecture, wali video pin karna padega har stream pe. That is true. Today only I completed my first case study and eager to get it reviewed by you, and you get your valuable feedback. Soon, Kashika, soon. Alok, all right. Himanshu, hello Himanshu, good to see you. In writing a case study, should a goal be written or objectives? Both are confusing. Can you tell the difference? Write either one, right? Write either one. Some people will write, this is the brief. Some people will write, these are the goals of the project. Some people will write, these are the objectives. I don't see a need of writing both. Objectives can be, though how I think about it, a goal like can be for the overall product, and each feature, each decision can have certain objectives. But that's, I doubt you need to get into that much detail unless it's necessary. Hello Pailagu, Ashirwad, Rishi. Kya haal hai? Sab badhiya Rohan, sab badhiya. Hi Sid, need some advice on career. Can I ask you on Twitter, Instagram, DM? Yeah, DM me, Anshulji. DM, for sure DM. Alrighty. Do you folks want to play a little chess? Who wants to play a little chess? If you want to play chess, if you want to see me screwing up chess live, like making blunders, say yes. Otherwise, just keep your questions coming. Varun says, could we kindly have a session on automotive UX? Given the fact that it has a huge EV market, I've not been able to find somebody specific working in automotive UX. In fact, automotive UX, just in automobile, design. Um, if you have folks have any recommendation of names, I can try reaching out. Do let me know on Instagram DM. I'll try reaching out. Otherwise, that I haven't gotten to that. There are other people I'm trying to research for. I'm reading this. Actually, we can do one more thing tonight. We can read a research paper. We can read. All of you would have heard of Miller's Law, yeah. I am trying to make a video on that topic. If you OG folks would know, I've done a video on LOTA and what LOTA has to do with beginning of National Institute of Design in India. It's a paper called the India Report, written by James and Charles Ames, and it is among the top popular videos. It is this one, LOTA, mother of National Institute of Design. And quickly we'll show you. If you scroll on the popular videos next, and you will see this LOTA video. So this is the one. So this was one of an experiment where I did paper videos, and since then I've always wanted to do more of these, and I thought, why not all these UX laws of UX people talk about usually come from papers in either psychology or cognitive psychology or some of these fields. Some now start to come from neuroscience, etc. as well. But I wanted to dive deeper and, what does Miller say in his actual paper? Because he wasn't a designer or anything, right? And it's not called Miller's Law in paper. It's called Miller's theory. So what does Miller actually say in that theory? I wanted to do a video, and I'm going through that paper. The paper is dense and could read with you folks. I wanted to do that on Discord, but now that we are here online, we could do that as well. And look at how to tag that paper, how it gets prepared. We can do padhai, basically. Yes, let's blunder the queen. Research paper. Okay, उत्सव को research paper भी चाहिए and queen blunder भी चाहिए. Decide करें इसे. Decide करें इसे. चलो पढ़ाई करते हैं. Can you recommend any documentaries or books on product design thinking? Not really. I don't have any book recommendations. Not at this point. There are some traditional design books you can study, like The Design of Everyday Things, etc., etc. But if you're looking for, there's a lot of video content and there's a lot of blog posts, honestly, that you can consume. There are many not directly related to product and design that I would like you to look at. You can read the book called The Habit I think The Habit is by Charles Diggs or something like that. It might be on my bookshelf. Let me quickly check. Those of you who don't know, there's a hidden bookshelf on this website right here. For design, no, I've not added it. I'm yet to add all these books. They are all stored in my notes somewhere. I'm slowly adding and building this. But right now, if you haven't read this one, by the way, it's a great book to read. I'll just show you. Wait a second. On my website, I was looking at this. I keep forgetting to switch. There's a bookshelf. You can read this one. Don't make me think if you haven't read it. And design of everything is dense. It is to develop your vocabulary and your mental models around many of the ideas in design. But yeah, that is one book you can read. You can also read The Habit, right? I'm going to just Google it. The Habit, Charles Duhigg, something like that is there. I don't know how to pronounce this. This is the book. The Power of Habit. This is the book you can read. Right? This is an interesting book. And you can also read, I'm in middle of it. I've read summaries of it. Think Fast, Think Slow. That is also an interesting book you could try. These are some of the books you can. Abstract on Netflix. What about Abstract on Netflix? I'm not sure, Varun. What do you mean? Sir, what's your chess rating? It's about, I think I keep going between 1,000 to 1,100. That's what I keep fluctuating between right now. Ashish. Hari, mono audio, please, good sir. Mono audio. Is it mono? How can I do mono audio? Yeah, mono audio. Is that? I don't. Are you asking? Is it a request? Arsh, I said I am doing a full-time job from May 2020. Shall I continue making case studies to keep my portfolio updated? Arsh, that's a good aim to have. Many of us are not able to do that. There are a couple of things you can do. as long as you can, try to write case studies, as long as you can. Eventually, what will happen when you're in the industry, you will not get time, and there's team involved, and there half the things you can't talk about very easily. At that time, probably it's more beneficial for you to do Twitter threads, right? When you become like a little bit more established in the industry, when you don't have time. At that time, you can try Twitter threads, you can try a series of LinkedIn posts with screenshots or something like that. But yeah, it's a great idea to keep your portfolio updated, but it can get difficult. Bro, what difficulties did you face during the beginning stage? One of the biggest difficulties that remains is, especially for self learners, right? If you look at it, it is not a structured path, right? It is not something that you can just because if I'm learning chess, right? It is like you learn opening, you learn XYZ, you learn about pieces, you learn imbalance theories, and you can learn like things like pinning their topics to learn. And most of the people will provide you a course where you can learn step by step, or like machine is there which will tell you these are the weaknesses that you have and customize it for you. Even that is a little bit unstructured, right? But in design, it's completely unstructured. Should I learn about visual design? Should I learn and improve my copywriting skills? Should I learn my and improve my interviewing skills? Should I focus on understanding business and data more? Where should I focus on? And that problem has only gotten crazier. It's crazier for you folks than it was for me, because I had to worry about less things growing up, the number of layers in design, than you folks have to, probably, right? Like, let's say portfolio wasn't such a big thing, at least in the detailed case study nature. Just having a basic portfolio usually worked. Or just sending, it works today as well. If you have a live product, just sending links worked, right? Which works a lot in today's cases as well. But that ambiguity was the biggest challenge. And I'm sure if any of you face that as well, like me, you can write like same here, right? Or you can do high five in the chat. Do you folks, or just write yes in the chat? Do you face that as well? Like, just those of you learning yourself or trying to figure this path out, it's just very ambiguous. Like, which direction should I go in? There's so many things to do, and everybody's doing new things every day. There's glass morphism now, material design new version is out, Apple is doing some crazy shit, new trends are happening, people are doing 3D Blender illustration. What should I focus on? Like, how much do I learn? And if I keep learning everything, then how will I get really good at something? And if I get good at something, will I miss out on something else? Do you folks face that as well? Deepthi, I hope that answers. It's on Notion. It is on Notion. Yes, the website. Hari, it's a request. Oh, why would you want mono? Then it'll come in only one ear. Twitter thread is love. Yeah. Oh, Vaibhav is here. Hey, Vaibhav. Didn't expect that. Thanks for joining in, Vaibhav. Hello, Vaibhav. You can chat. Let's say hello to Vaibhav. Let's say hello, Vaibhav. Or just write Vaibhav OP in the chat. Thanks for joining in. All right. Gaurav is here. Hello, hello. And we have Itachi. Hey, Sid, I have a pretty basic doubt. How do I exactly test the wireframes? Won't it be confusing for the user as there's no label? So there are fidelity of wireframes, right? In fact, some of the wireframes I draw are like very basic. They are just like scribbles that no one will understand, but that's for my understanding, right? And probably I'll draw them while I'm discussing with the product manager or a designer. I'll draw out quickly something and they understand in that moment what happened, or I understand what I did in quick notes. Then to present, and if you want to test in wireframes, you'll have to add a little more fidelity. Like, you'll have to add copy. You'll have to add a little bit of interaction in the prototype. You'll have to prototype essentially the wireframe to make sure the content is in place. And what you're essentially leaving out is all the visual part. So you get to the core functionality bit that you can test. And is the copy making sense? Is the flow making sense to people? These are some basic things you can test and evolve very fast, which can be more difficult to evolve in visual design, right? Because when you have all that fidelity, if you want to go in a new direction, let's say after you did a set of 10 tests, you see some preliminary results and you decide, okay, we're going to try this another direction, another iteration as well. Now you have to decide, like, make that look good as well. However, I would still say that try to add only the variations that are content you can't skip. Yeah, content you have to. Variations you do later on, like all the fidelity, like let's say you didn't design 5 screens, that's fine. But try to create a flow, and you can look at something called task-based testing. In what that happens is, let's say your app has 1,000 things you can do, but you only give one task that, hey, this is the situation you are in, and this is the page you land on, this is the app page you land on, and now do what you want to do. And you try to link as many things as possible. You will realize that because you're a designer, to you, even if the copy doesn't make sense, you know what it does because you designed it. But to a user, it doesn't make any sense unless the copy is there, because that's how they're interpreting it, right? Just an example, you put a big button, static button on a, some website where you can download a PDF. Now you write there, you write whatever, you write like click here, or you just write like a CTA copy here. To you, you will keep clicking it when you design it. It'll look like a CTA because you know that what that button does. But if I am a customer who lands on that page and the CTA copies does not say download, I will be like, why does it say CTA copy here? Like, I'll be confused, right? So that is the things you can iron out. All right. We see, can you explain what is a portfolio and how to make it better? Deepti, for that as well, I have a free guide. I would highly suggest check this guide out. I'm again linking to this in the chat, Deepti. And this is a free guide on how to get started with UX design. I've tried to consolidate a lot of steps. In fact, I'm writing a script to renew this video because the audio quality sucks. And I think there are a lot more questions that the video does not answer that I would like to answer in a little longer video. But here you will find link to how to write a case study. Here it talks about your portfolio and case study in detail. In short, right, a case study is an ad. That is, and your portfolio is advertisement. Right? You're advertising to your hiring manager, your future boss, that these are the problems I can solve for you. And these are the proofs. This is the proof that this is part of my ability, right? And that is what essentially a portfolio is. It's a proof that these are the kind of problems you can solve, and you have done it in the past. Do check this out. Those of you who have not read it, I think you should go through it. I spent a lot of time creating that, of course. And this also I'm planning to eventually turn into a video, but it's going to be lengthier. But yes, do check that out. And the link for this is also in... Oh, we have Hardik here as well. Let's have Hardik Gopi in the chat as well. All right, Hardik Gopi. Today the chat is very silent. Huh? Chat, what's happening? I hope I've answered your question. Sonder Raina is here. Good to see you, Sonder Raina. How to pick problem statement ideas for creating case studies for beginners, for portfolio, just for start. Alok, there are a ton of problem statements that companies will give you. Their website that listed. I think Chetan, Design Pilot, on his Instagram does post a hypothetical problem statement every week. There are a ton you can pick. You can create your own, like a problem you face on the app. Just try to solve that, And preferably, which I mentioned in how to design a case study, as how to make a design case study, I mentioned, try to pick problem statements if you have choice in picking one, where you can easily find people who may face it to talk to easily, right? The reason for that is, let's say you pick up diabetes or some app like that, but you don't you are living in a hostel where you don't have that many diabetic people from variety, that background pool that you need to talk to, then that might not be a good option, because you can't do basic testing and research. At least some basic conversation you can't have. So preferably pick problem statement that are faced by people that you have easy access to be able to talk to, right? That will at least give you some insight, because one of the biggest things to realize as designers is, as a designer, you will be very smart. You will be extremely smart and think about 1,000 things. You'll think about this situation, but the moment you put it in front of a customer, their mindset is completely different. And that's why we talk about empathy, ability to, that even though the word is overused and abused, but the idea is to be able to get out of your own head, your own feelings, and be able to relate to the other person and what they are going through, and to understand that. And that is what happens when you put either your prototype in front of customers, you watch them use your product, your design, or you talk to them about their problems, right? The tricky part there is that it's very easy to push a user in that direction and plant ideas in their head, right? Almost like, imagine like, I want my landing page to do good, so I'll tell you, oh, this is how the good landing page look, right? Are you liking this, right? You're liking this. No person is going to be rude to you and say no. So there's a thing you need to learn about, asking non-leading questions. So all of that, again, I have talked about a little bit and given you relevant links in how to design a case study. Do check that out. Hey, Sid, I've wireframes already covered that. Just started my career, I'm facing in FOMO. All right, so people face that a lot. Hey, Gauri, see you tomorrow, weekly huddle. Okay. I don't know what they're talking to Gaurav, talking among themselves. The audio comes in without a stereo separation for ears. Low if you enable mono. Currently feels like I'm listening majorly only from my right ear. Oh, that is strange. Hardik is also in the chat. Today, everybody is in the chat when I'm doing this still. All right, Piyush is here. Hello, Piyush. Good to see you. And Flora shirt OP. Yes. I should do a series on Instagram just in my shirt collections because that's the only thing that people, like at times notice. Uday Shaka is here. Siddharth Jai is here. It's like half my family folks are here. Huh? Siddharth Jai is here. Hardik Pandey is here. Vaibhav Sisanthi is here. Oh God, nice to see all of you here. All right. Sumit J, we is saying hey Siddharth again, just to get a shout out, huh? All right. Rohan Arora, apni sahi ID se aao. Hello Udit. All right. So, any more questions, folks? We can do chess after that. Fashion influencer hacking. Yes. हम fashion influencer हो गए हैं. Those of you don't know, you should follow me on Instagram. Praja has assembled today. Praja has indeed assembled. All right, I'm going to show you something. And, oh, by the way, I forgot to tell you, I updated my personal website. Finally got that done, got that updated, and immediately got feedback. Those of you who don't know, go check that website out. Go check out my personal website, kingstar.com, and tell me the first issue that you noticed, okay? Whatever issue that you noticed with your experience with copy, etc., or whatever it is, just tell me. As design, and this is not user testing that I will do in a different format. This is more about sahi idea se aa gaya, sir. See, I recognize, I know it. We're all going to make it, and I hope so. I want a different variation of that, ultimate truth variation of that. We're all gonna die. That's that like there's a dialogue in a film where somebody's screaming that. And always wanted a GIF reaction in that sense for that. So, I get it. I update my website and I'm trying some experiment and I just make it live in between. I'm like, don't have time to code at all. And King going to make it. And what happens is, I get a random YouTube comment. पहले अपनी website का UI UX तो fix कर ले. And I'm like, ऐसा क्या हुआ है website पे? And I'm like wondering, it's such a basic website. What could go wrong? Okay, I'm gonna paste the link in this thing. I'm not gonna show it here, otherwise you will know the issue. And I'm like, what could go wrong, right? And then I show it to a person. I just tell them to open it on their phone, and immediately, it clicks. It immediately clicks. Tips and tricks on how to land an internship. There are no tips and tricks. I now agree with that person who commented. Rahul B, I'm going to come to your question in a second. But I was like, yeah, I need to fix that. All right, coming back to now, H1 बहुत भारी है. All right. There's a bigger issue with H1. भारी तो संभाल लेंगे. There's a bigger issue with H1. Sab changa si, Raghav is like, should I choose science or commerce streams to study UI UX product design? They are not related yet. Choose any. Choose whichever one will give you more time. Process video on your redesign. Oh, like my redesign of my website. There honestly wasn't a strict process here. I just kept exploring. I can actually show you some of the Figma files. If it is intentional, but builder, designer, artist is appearing word by word, but takes too much time. Udit, correct. It is intentional, but that is the issue. It takes too much time, and you all folks will stay there for a bit because you folks are nice. But most people will just scroll before even a single word appears. And when I watch people use it, I was like, I am so dumb. Obviously, people will scroll past it and they want to have a quick this thing. And, reduce the text and H1, etc. And I was like, obviously, it looks broken. It looks like it's missing. It's just broken code. So, yeah, on point of it. On point. That is precisely the first problem I noticed. Can you help me on how to practice PRD writing? Parth, if you want to understand how to write a PRD, I have a English and an English version of a video on that. And the English version is what I did with whiteboard.fm. And again, those of you don't know, pages.kingstar.com. You'll find a lot of my free courses there. One of the free courses that I have is product management full course in English, where there is product requirement document episode 5. Just go watch this one. And where to practice it, just write it on Notion. There's no place you need to practice it. Just pick a different product, pick a different feature that you like in a product. Let's say you like WhatsApp payments. Write a PRD for how would you spec it out, right? So that is something you can do. But it blew my mind. You see how we think differently and how designers as designer and as for yourself why it's so hard to design. So it blew my mind. Now to fix that. Web3 add karna reh gaya soon, Sumit J. Soon. I'll write there like NFT. There'll be in my design is already there. Animation is slow on website. Yes, Rishi, it is slow on website. That is what I have to be fixed. Can you explain product management process? Talk to me. It's a very in-depth thing. I have explained it over 8 episodes here, but if you just want a quick overview, introduction to product management for first episode will do. That is what I can't possibly cover in 5 minutes what I've done in 8 episodes. Though if you do not understand, if you want it in English, let me know, because one has to wait for it because I'm still preparing for that. Haven't gotten time to get to that yet. Also, planning to invite product managers. Can you explain? Got that. Animation is slow on website. Got that. Loading time lag raha tha. All right. Just want to thank you for everything. Thank you so much, Soham. Soham Center, hey Sid, I'm a regular viewer on this channel, but I mostly watch the streams in my own free time. Just wanted to let you know that because of the people like you and Abhinav, I started my career in UI UX. Thank you so much, Soham. That is very kind of you. That is really, really nice of you. That is why I do this. So, I came to the industry because of other people who were willing to help. There was free material available. There was so much to learn, and I just want to make that path easier for the rest of you folks, and happy to play my small role in your journey and help you with that. And if any of you have such stories, please let you reach out. It always encourages. This is what keeps bringing me back again and again to the stream. Every single time I'm like, too tired tonight, can't stream. And then I'm like, no, people are waiting. People are waiting. Praja is waiting. Let's go. Sorry to irritate you, bro, but I have doubts. Happy to answer them. It's Dipti. I am not irritated. It's just that if I have content for it, I just will point you to it. It just is that when we sit down on a topic, you can cover in much more depth. So I hope you're just bookmarking all these links and keeping them, and keep the questions coming. I'm loving them, in fact. Don't be sorry. Website heading takes more time to load. Yes, Manish Reddy, that is the issue. Show Figma or redesign spam of redesign. All right. Figma, you folks want to see the Figma thing? I will show you Figma thingy. I should stop screen sharing before Figma opens. All right, I've already watched both of them. That is crazy awesome. Yeah, that is crazy awesome. And of course, you need to give me 2 minutes because the GPUs are going to be hogged. Today, I gave a talk for ISEC. I am waiting for their this thing approval so I can upload it on Facebook. I can show you the title of it. Would you like to see the title of it? I gave a talk today. It was online. It was after a long time I was giving, not a long time. I recently gave a talk earlier. But did it online. And the talk was on this topic. It's called Internet and the Entrepreneurial Spirit. Would you folks want to watch it on this channel? What do you want me to, I can do a special streaming for us or members only or something like that. Talk to me. Already answered your question. The white mode is taking more time to load than the dark mode version. Oh, that is very strange, Isha. That is very strange. All right. On Figma, I will show you some things. Hold on. Let me close all the tabs first and gotta go to personal website. Yes. All right. Why not? Sure, you will watch. All right. Can you create a video more about Growth School, its origin and purpose? That's a good idea, Dinesh. That's a good idea. That's a good idea. Do you like BTS? If you're talking about the the music scene, is it a band? Can you call it a band? It's not like the kind of, I don't understand or I'm not exposed to that music is the right word because I haven't listened to enough of it to make up my mind about it. My choice in music is really, really strange. For example, there is, I will listen to, most of the music I listen to is either Indian folk or Indian classical, Hindustani mostly. Jaipur Utrauli Gharana for those of you like music. And otherwise I'm listening to blues, jazz, progressive, and sometimes like some house and kind of stuff. Like it's all mixed. So couple of experiments. The last version, I don't even know where it is. Earlier, I was trying a bunch of stuff with illustrations. All right. You can see this, these are Procreate illustrations. The idea was to be able to animate them like in a parallax, in a layer. And I could do that with JavaScript and, with mouse on the desktop and with the, your, what is it called? Gyroscope with, on the phone. So if you will tilt the phone, animation will like move a little bit. And I was trying various styles. I made multiple versions of that. In fact, you will see me posting some of this on Instagram at times. But and I in fact launched this website because this was when around growth school funding news was going out, because I wanted to update all the logos, etc. So there was a lot that I was trying out. I tried different taglines, but it wasn't sticking around. So, but I launched something in between. You folks have seen a version where I was doing with this photograph, where this photograph was like blurred, etc., like sketched out, etc., like how my YouTube header is, that style. I didn't like that style as well. I don't know if I have that design lying around somewhere. Yeah, I was trying the style, and I was like these two were not going together. Either it needs to be just photographs and cards, or I go full on with the hand-drawn style. Because hand-drawn style, those of you who watch personal brand redesign video, you would know I was inclining towards a lot towards hand-drawn style, and there were a lot of sets I was creating, and I wanted to like do micro animations there, like color filling up, etc. Didn't like this thing. In the end, I came back to like, what do I really like? I just like playing with type, so went back and did some experiment again, and these were all mobile first experiments. Earlier were largely desktop first, because most of the people used to come from desktop earlier. That was just the case, but now that has changed. Was trying out dark and light mode. Most of these are initial experiments, just trying out things. Largely what I was trying out, typesetting, right? And Gimlet and Blight is what I went with. I don't think I went with Blight on the live website. I'm not sure. I think I changed that, but Gimlet is what is live. So there were just some experiments that I did here. And after that, like, this is not at all what you will see live. Like, this was just random as experiment. Then what I like to do is, because I can code, and the entire website was coded, in between like night sessions, like I'll find half an hour, 45 minutes just to write some code. So in between, I just kept pushing, experiments on the code itself. So after just getting an initial idea, I just moved directly to code, and all that evolution of whatever happened there. Like the copy evolved a lot, then copy experiments I did a lot. So basically this is what Figma file looks like. Earlier I was playing with shadows as well, as you can see. I was like, it doesn't really go, because if I use shadows here, then why not use them here for consistency? But that's too much shadows, and then I'm not using them anywhere else. For this one as well, I'm experimenting with something. Let me see if I can quickly find it. I posted that on this thing. Why are you crying, Siddharth Jha? Why are you crying? ऐसा फोटो कोई मेरा खींच दे तो मेरा भी वेबसाइट पॉप होगा. आजा झा खींच देता हूँ फोटो. Come over. I have the lighting setup and everything. I'll click one for you. I'll show you folks what I'm experimenting with, and you tell me if that style is going. This is coming from YouTube, because I realized that, by the time I sat down for redesign, my content and brand has also started to evolve. All right. Hosh walo ko khabar kya? That's a very beautiful ghazal. What are you watching nowadays? Any show or movie? Do not get time to watch shows or movie, unfortunately. I was watching, the last one that I completed was which one? I don't even remember. All right. Can I find it? Live 2022. Can I find that style? I'm trying to find something for you folks, which an experiment I'm doing in personal brand. And if I can find that, then I would love to show it to you folks. Oh, yes, it might be there. All right, taking more question. Did you create those illustrations? Yes, I did create those illustrations, Isha. They were done on iPad and Procreate. I would call them more towards artwork than illustrations, because illustrations, I mean, there's a thin area. But I treated that. My approach was more art like than this thing, illustration approach. All right. So with the new streaming, this thing background style, I've been trying a couple of things. I really like Gamer Fleets. I don't know how many of you watch Gamer Fleets. So I really like the theming and the illustration, but I wanted to do it in my style. That's not my style. Like that's very clean lines. That's like done in Adobe Illustrator most likely. So I was like, I want to try something exactly like hand drawn in my style, like done. So I was trying different experiments. These are two that I've finalized for trying out, like out there in certain formats. But I posted them on Instagram, and usually that's what I do when I like something. I post it on Instagram, and from there on, it gives you a feel as a creator when you post something, whether you like it or not. And I started to not like it as much because I was like, it's just too dark and there's no interest coming across. And that is where I gave up on this. Some of you old folks would have seen old intro there where I completely did hand-drawn style, so I may go to that. So I'm still exploring. These are just some experiments that I'm doing, but you can already see this is how the thumbnail art is evolving. Like I did some experiments here, which made the thumbnail art evolve, and that's why you see new kinds of thumbnails coming across, as well. So yeah, just a couple of things that I'm trying out. I'm picking up references. And this was just one experiment. Just wanted to see how will that feel like. Now this has given me a bunch of ideas which are on Procreate. I've not moved them here. I'm still drawing them, which will be more towards my style, right? Like I think the style is still evolving. These are just visual experiment, keep doing as a designer. You bring a reference, you like something about something, and you want to do it in your style. How would you interpret it? Right? This is done a lot in art. I think in design we don't do it as much. Sometimes we do it, sometimes we don't. We do redesigns, but in art culture, what you will see is you will often see, hey, this is my painting. I've reinterpreted this painting in my style. So that is the approach I was trying to take here. And yep, this is a couple of experiments that I was able to do behind the scenes. And yep, that is behind the scenes story of the new website. Any other feedback you folks have, let me know as well. Taking quick questions. For website, what coding languages are you using or Webflow? It is a framework called Jekyll, and it is basically Markdown and HTML and CSS, basic stuff, and a little bit of Ruby, but you don't really write Ruby unless you want to write a plugin. Most of it just conventional liquid tag code that you will write. Need some negotiation advice. I have 3-year-old. I'm 3 years in software development, switching my career to UX. What kind of CTC should I expect? Entry level, or would it be at par with my previous company, 15's LP? It depends, yeah. It's very case to case because and I would highly encourage you to watch my stream on design jobs and salaries. It's in English though, where we talk about, because it depends on what industry you're going to, whether you're going to product or services company, whether you're in a city or not, like how big is the team, how big is the company, and what their current pay scales are. But if you're good, there's practically no limit to what people will pay for, because number of years of experience counts for less than what you're able to pull off, right? So there are many things that could probably play to your advantage. So you will learn about that as well as you progress. But it is very difficult to say what you should expect. I would say do a lot of variety of interviews and get a lot of variety of offers before you make a judgment, and try going by a network first. That'll often give you better idea. If you can care about salary, then you need a good portfolio, and you need like ability to basically, you need to be good. And portfolio is just one signal that you're good. Many people who are damn good also get hired without portfolio, because people know what they're working on because their product is out there. For example, anybody, let's say the design team who designed Instagram, live, for example, your product is out there. You probably don't even need to make a portfolio. You just need to mention that this was there. Once it's confirmed, like, you will most likely be in. Listen, don't rush. It's a song, okay? I don't know what that is. I'll check it out. When your course on Growth School? Soon. What course should I put on Growth School, folks? Give me a suggestion. What course would you like me to have on Growth School? Taking suggestions. Those of you who haven't hit the like button, please hit the like button. And if your subscribe button is red, you are not subscribed yet. Please subscribe. Okay, thanks, Kiran. Hand-drawn illustration are pretty great. What do you look for? Who do you look for inspiration? Yeah, in hand-drawn illustration, honestly, I look for now. I've reached a stage because that's my oldest style and the most developed style, and literally like raw hand-drawn. I really like that style, and I've done that since college days. So I've reached a point I just open real life references and I'm able to pull that off. That's how like I was able to quickly like. Of course, that there I could trace easily, and even without tracing, I can do pretty decent job of like looking at the reference on the screen and doing a hand-drawn version of illustration version of that. It takes a bunch of iterations, like it's an iterative process. You do first run, second run, third run. By fifth run it gets smoother, and because you know where what kind of lines, what kind of things you want to simplify. And yeah, how to be a better designer, maybe Rishi, that's a very broad topic, but all right, visual design is what you would like to have a course on. Interesting. How to be a better designer, that's very broad, but anything specific you want to become better at? How to plan and build resume to get a job? Interesting, Dheeraj. But that's a workshop, Dheeraj. That's not a full course, but we can do a workshop. Bro, did you study though? What did you study though? I was studying fine arts in college. Fine arts is like painting. I was gonna specialize in painting, but I dropped out in the starting of second year. It was a 4-year professional degree. The college was Government College of Fine Arts, Chandigarh. Course on visual design. Oh, everybody wants a course on visual design. Oh, let's do a hand-on illustration live once. Would you like folks like that? I've done animations on this thing, but I've not done hand-drawn illustrations or hand-drawn artwork. When you folks call it illustration, because my approach to this, all of the hand-drawn style is very, very art from my art background. So I take it as art, more like illustration. But yeah, I could develop, you could call it my illustration style as well. Let's do one. I've done one live painting session, 2 live painting sessions. Both of them I don't like now. But yeah, Photoshoppers stop. I am in tech less than 1 year. Switching to UX will be a good idea at this time. Yeah, I mean, your time in your current career should not be a decision maker of what you want to do next. If you know what it's gonna take, and as you can try to take a taste of it. You can talk to some people who have done that and take the leap. Take the jump. What do you think about on-deck design? I have no experience. I've never taken that, so no clue. I haven't heard about them much either. On deck, in general, I've heard good things about, but I'm not sure about their design courses. I never heard. Do you have a mentor? How have they influenced you? Himanshu, that's a very brilliant question. Yeah, I have mentors for sure. I have different mentors about different things. But I do not have, let's say, a design mentor. I did have a product management mentor for the longest time. She was like senior PM at Rakuten, and she's the one who trained me about a lot of things. And like the amount of knowledge I gained from her, I think I will need to make like 30 episode course just to cover like the depths, and I won't even be able to cover all that depth because I won't have the data or like the kind of things and the stories to back up a lot of that. But yeah, I did have a mentor in product management. In design, I would say I never had a specific mentor. I've learned from peers. I've learned from you folks. I've learned from different people in the industry. Always learning from people around me. I've had professional mentors for sure. I currently could talk to a couple of people who are friends as well. Who become like your sounding board in professional decisions. Any topics on game UI UX? That's a very different ball game. Yeah, like imagine like. Game designers are a different kind altogether. The more you talk to them, the more you understand subtle nuances which us product designers don't even talk about, right? I am from Chandigarh, Raghav says. Hey, hello. I've grown up I think I've spent like about 7-ish, 8-ish years in and around Chandigarh. But good to know. Good to see people from Chandigarh getting interested in UI UX design. But yeah, if you know any game designers we can invite, let me know. Yeah, I would love to talk to more game designers. In fact, today only I wanted to put that shot. I met Arjun. Those of you not seen his interview on the channel, you should check it out. Arjun Kumar, and he is a designer at Swiggy, and he's a principal designer at Swiggy and some title like that, and brilliant guy. I met Rahul Chakrabarti and him, and we were discussing that what you want to do on stream is just get different kind of designers and make them talk to each other, just like industrial designer, product designer, game designer. You talk. Get an architect, get a graphic designer, get a 3D artist, and let them talk. And kind of want to arrange something like that, but for that, I will need your folks' support. The first thing you can do is hit that like button so more people know about us. Hit that subscribe so more numbers really do make a difference when I reach out to other folks. So if you're not following me on social media, please do follow, because the biggest thing I personally like use it for is when YouTube numbers grow, I can reach out to people saying like, hey, look, we have these many subscribers. Would you come? Often what happens is you reach out and like if the number is not impressive, people are like, yeah, whatever. Like, cool. Don't want to do that. So yeah, support the channel. Send out to your friends. Let's get the subscriber count rolling. Dinesh says courses on design and startup early stage companies and how it is different from mainstream. Ooh, Dinesh, that is an interesting idea. That is because in early stage, you don't have time and resources to do a lot of the stuff that you will get in a bigger company. That is true. You have to move fast and break things. But all these are workshop topics. Maybe I can start with the workshop and then develop. Those are good ideas. Let me see what we can do. All right. Check visual design courses from Clarts, from Coursera from Clarts. Yeah, I think there are a ton of like amazing visual design courses free on YouTube as well that you can follow. I don't know if I'll do justice to that. Like they have been doing it for years, but I can try for sure. But do check out some advanced UI concepts that we covered on a couple of live streams back. But I want to take from none other than Crin Siddharth. All right, Abhijit. All right. You want Crin Siddharth's UI design course. All right. Got it. Do you know someone from QA background transitioning into UX or PMing? Not at the moment. I do not know. Can't think of. Are you single? Kaisa question hai. But is that because you folks want me to stream tomorrow? Is that why you're asking this? Because I will probably stream tomorrow. That should answer your question. What do you think about Harish from Cred? Tanmay Bhai interviewed him. Yeah, Harish I've met in person. And I've always met in person. I think once or twice I've met him and always had a great discussion. I don't agree with him on a lot, right? Like we don't have to agree on a lot. Like design and art both are vast fields, right? Vast beyond definition of one human being. But I've really started to appreciate the fact more than ever before in my life, right? Say what you will, but they have their team, and Harish's team and Cred team, the design team has proven a point which I think barely any company could ever, probably few companies would ever make, to use design not only as an art form but an expressive medium, right? To say something, to make a mark, to make a statement, which is very common in other forms of design. Let's say fashion could be all about that. But in product design, it has never been looked at from that angle, right? Beyond utility, because we do obsess a lot in day about utility. And that's a non-utilitarian to an extreme point of view of like, aesthetics first kind of approach. Because aesthetics do matter, of course, and I think that is something you can't look away from. That is something you can't deny, that it does have that power. It does, have that ability to stand apart. Like no matter initial days, and I think some redesign might be going on. I'm pretty sure like as trends change, they're not going to keep sticking to that design. They're going to change it. And, people talked about Cred for the longest time. Now it is not that this thing happening, but when Cred just came out with their new design, they tried new morphism. Whether you liked it or you hated it, people are talking about it. And that's what their intention was, right? That is very difficult for a brand to do, to be one of the most talked about brands in that sense. And to use design to be able to do that, where everybody is having an opinion, even like some people like love the design, love this thing, and some people like UX sucks. Some people like it's difficult to use. They're all mixed opinions. But what I take away is that design has this power to be used as an expressive medium as well, which we see a lot of, let's say in crypto world, we see that in game design, we see that in, many of the art adjacent fields of design. But in product design, I don't think it has been explored as much as, at least in India, as Cred did. So from Harish, that is what I take away, right? And of course, there are parts of like, you can really love about a person. There are parts you can admire them for. There are parts you may not agree with. And that's all part of being a human being, right? Like, for example, I don't think you need to go that extreme, and you can still retain some utilitarian parts and still make customers' life easier. But I'm not building and leading the design team of Cred, right? That is the reason he's doing the work he's doing, because he understands that, and I'm doing the one that I understand, right? So there's a lot, I think, to learn in mistakes and in successes for us from Cred, right? So that is what my thoughts are about Harish, and generally in what phenomenal work Cred team has been putting out. Just think about it. It's not easy. It's not easy to be that out there renegades and to have that kind of confidence on what you have tried and to build new patterns. And that's how it's true what Harish says, like new patterns are built because somebody tries to break the rules, and that is how new patterns emerge. Like stories wasn't and reels wasn't a pattern till somebody tried and experimented with it, and now it's a thing, right? Just keep swiping up to watch more is a thing now. YouTube uses it, Instagram uses it, TikTok brought it in, or some designer in China brought it in, and now we all use it. And that is how you break the rules and progress forward, right? So I think that is very valuable. That is, it brought design to attention again, and whether we will look back at it from like every era has a design team which is like, you know, in the this thing. I think after housing at Cred we saw that, like that sort of an approach where you see like them making a statement. All right. Hello, remember crypto GV, crypto GV. I mean, I don't remember something like crypto GV, but I'm sure like when we were doing design GV, this just happened. All right, bring some from Web3 designers, for example, Dalpat from Polygon or some from Polygon. Let me try to reach out somebody if we can get somebody from Polygon to come and talk. That'll be fun. I want to talk to people from like Web3 design. There are some designers I know who are working in Web3. They do not want to talk. The reason they don't want to talk, they don't like coming on video. What do we do? Hello, all right, Dipti. I'm also dropout in BFA painting. Wow, same course, Bachelor of Fine Arts. In first semester because I thought that there was not many opportunities in the course. That was my reason. What was yours? My reason was, yeah, I love art, right? Like I love multiple forms of expressive art. I love singing, playing instruments, painting, and painting and drawing has been some of the oldest hobbies, right? Interest of mine. I don't like the word hobbies. And I was already building a company. I was running an agency when I was in entering college. So I was like, okay, let's take something light, which I will enjoy, and I won't mind the homework. But the more I entered the system, the more I realized that it is less about art and it's more about pleasing the professors, pleasing the system, pleasing the examiner, staying within the limits, moving with the crowd. And then I had a design teacher as well with whom I had arguments about a logo. And the logo I designed like professionally for somebody, and I just did the same thing for my, exam as well, and my submission as well. I was like, it's a professional logo, like company is using it. I'll just put that. Like I don't need to design a new one. And the kind of arguments we had were insane. Like they had no clue about that app icon exists. They had no clue about like, they wanted like a letterhead, like a traditional company, this thing. I'm like, why would a internet company use serif font? Like it was really bizarre discussion, and I got really pissed off. And more I stayed there, the more disillusion I got. And Punjab University has 75% mandatory attendance, so that was getting in the way. I was not able to take client meetings, client calls, and just wasting a lot of time. I would be done with my, like, each week we used to have one subject. Let's say this week, 5 classes will be all on painting, right? So I'm doing painting. My painting teacher was amazing, by the way. Like, I loved my painting teacher. She taught me watercolors. She taught me a lot of things in the first year. Second year one was like, whatever. And I was like, half of you are not even interested in your own art. Like, my second year painting teacher, and it's going to be my specialization, she's going to be a professor for the next 3 years. She comes in, bana lo, kya banaoge? My studio bana lo. And anytime she's giving a demo, it's not really interest based. It's just very vague. So I was like, why am I wasting like time? It's going to take 3 more years and I can't build a business. I can't focus on my career. It's just time drain, and they're not even like, I'm not even enjoying art as challenging me art. That challenge part went away in 6 months, and it was all this just, like pleasing the people around to get your points kind of system. I don't like that. Like, I think that wasn't my environment. So I just left and focused on my career instead. Happy to be a part of Cred. Oh, Abhishek, nice to see you. Nice to see you. I didn't know that you're, which Abhishek is that? All right. Are you part of Cred, like in a sense, part of the Cred design team, Abhishek? sorry if I don't recognize you. How to get out of a rut and go back to work. What rut are you in, Raghav? Take a break, do something creative. There's always gray side in any form of design. Correct, Abhijit. That is precisely right. So, anytime you try to do something different, there's going to be pros and cons. And that is the cost of daring to be different, right? And anybody who's like Snapchat, people can't use. You can make same argument you make about Cred, about Snapchat. Great UI, UX sucks. But to those, it makes sense. It makes absolute sense. Like, people will use Snapchat. Those of you use it, you know what I'm talking about. You are fast with that app. Like, I know I'm faster with Snapchat than with any other app. Like, compared to Snapchat, Instagram is like slow, painful, like interactions. And once you get the hang of it, like Snapchat is amazing. But for majority of the people, it's not a mainstream app. You won't be able to make sense of the UX. As like, I don't like to divide the two, but you won't be able to make sense of its navigation patterns at all initially, right? Make My Trip of Mafia was a thing in back in 2010. I don't know of that. Never heard of such a thing. Was there a thing? Kedar, of course, has always been this thing, but I've never heard of Make My Trip Mafia. Like, I've heard Housing Mafia, I've heard of Cred Mafia, but I don't think Mafia word was used with MMT ever. Not at least in my understanding, but I don't know everything. I'm not the. Though I would love to, and my videos and a lot of time my content reflects that I would like to be a design historian, but I'm not. He said I work on Web3 product as on a Web3 product as a product designer. Nice to know, Sandeep. Cred is able to make design for aesthetics versus design just for function because an average time on Cred is very less, so they have less time to hook the user in. Yeah, and I think they really are pushing limits on brand. Yeah, like, I mean, that's not everybody gets it. Was such a nice tagline and kind of design gel. I like, it's very rare you see visual aesthetic side of design going that in sync with brand messaging. Like, it is something different, right? And they can afford to break out of functionality because they're not trying to be your bill payments app in that sense. Of course, that part you can automate and you don't have to suffer anything fraud. But the coin buying experience, for example, one of the examples, and of course, coming from me, it's not going to sound as convincing as when you hear Harish talk about it. But for the longest time, people were like, there's no search in Cred. I can't search. And Harish gave a beautiful argument. He's like, if you search, you will just go to the product, buy it, and get out. I'll never get a chance to show you 2 more products, 2 more discoveries. And that's my goal, to expose you to more ideas and things. And I was like, it's totally fair. I mean, I'm not sure that's the only way to do it, but that's a way to achieve that goal. That's a legitimate way. Bro, I'm confused about doing a master's in a good college for 2 years of experience. Yes, I'm at Cred, illustrator at product. That is awesome, Abhishek. That is awesome, yeah. By the way, it's long time. I definitely want to reach out to Atul Kola, and I may need your who's a designer at Cred. If you remember, we did a meme stream with him, and we want to do an origin story stream with him. I'm gonna reach out to him soon to, do the origin story stream. Would you? We want to have him here, right? Like, I want to know his story. I want to know how he worked at different. I think he was at a topper before. He was in Bombay. How he learned design. How he became a designer. Want to know about his fitness journey. Want to know about, like, his origin story. And if you want to know about that as well, let me know in the chat. Right? Yes, in the chat. And Abhishek, prime the pump. Even though I think he's not gonna say no. But chat, I may need your help to spam some Instagram DMs in case it comes to that. Okay, in case it comes to that, I'll let you folks know. But yeah, that is an upcoming plan. I want to kickstart the interview series again. I've seen many organizations allow cross functionality between product and design. Why aren't more folks being cross functional between product and engineering? Those are, see, in product and design, there are many overlaps in terms of like, at times, literally, you can sit together and get some things done. And you will probably use similar tools to achieve them, which is documentation, some design tool as PM and this thing. But when it comes to engineer and PM, the tools, the way to achieve that goal and the goals are very different. But I have seen engineers do PMing and do cross-functional PMing. You will see a lot of that happen in primarily API focused product, right? Like, let's say you worked at Postman or you were doing a product where API is the main product you sell. You will see a lot of that happening. I've seen so many organizations allowing cross functionality between product design. Why aren't there more folks being cross-functional between product and engineering? Okay, covered that. I'm in final year of engineering, but I don't like coding. I started with learning UI UX design, liking it, planning to build my career. Awesome, Dheeraj. I hope the content round is helping you. Yes, so you would like to have, yeah, I had to do with one with cola. All right, we're getting Atul Cola. Today I talked to a designer from Credit. It was one of the best talks I did in past 3 months. PS, more than 25 plus years designers around the globe. All right. I don't know what the designers around the globe means, but yeah, talk to any designers they have. Yeah, they are phenomenal. Like they have an amazing team, and they are all driven people, and I think there's a ton to we can learn from them, right? And that is that is how at least I've looked at it, and I've learned to also like I think design affords that just because such a vast field, and especially I think if it was not Harish Bhai saying some of the arguments that he was making, if it was some other designer, I would have probably not taken them as seriously. I'll tell you why. Because he's a designer and an artist. Those of you who don't know, he's also a musician, right? And a popular one at that. So he is standing at the intersection of art and design, and he spoke about things that as a designer and an artist I have experienced, which made me think. I was like, you're right, because just think about this way, right? Like again, like in my head I separate this way differently, but you look at a painting, they're using same fundamentals as a designer, right? There is sizing, there is color, there is meaning to color, there is like red colors mean this thing means this, there is relative sizing of things, positioning of things, there's a layout, there's an interpretation, there's information architecture. So how can you really separate a uniquely created artwork from what you were designing as a screen, right? And if you really get to the depths of it, it is really not separable. The only thing that separates it for a lot of cases is the utilitarian view, which for because it is not Cred is not strictly a utility app. They don't want to be one. They don't follow one. So it's just fascinating that entire thinking process is very attractive to me because simply speaking, because that is something different than I used to think about, and I always find those ideas fascinating, and they hold the ground. Like there is solid ground to what has been done. They have work out there, and it's just like I want to get more into that, and that's the reason I kind of started getting into NFT space and want to try some doing generative art myself, because and that's not just the only reason. That's one of the reasons again, because I've always toyed with this idea of what is at the boundary of design and art, because there's so much commonality between the two that at the intersection you can do crazy stuff. And I think NFTs is one of those such experiments as well. They are designed, but they are art. It is an art which is designed, or it is a design which is arted. Like, how do you like look at BYC, right? Like, it is designed to make sure that when you generate these, they work with each other. Like, if there is some eyeball, it works for all of them. And in a way, you're building a design system, right? You can call it an art system. You are building that sort of a system. But here you are using artwork, right? And where did that line go? Like in illustrations again, like where do you draw the line, right? So there are many of these fields, and I find that fascinating. I've been reading up more about that. I've been diving deeper and deeper into that as well. So I think that's something we all can learn from the work the amazing team at Cred is doing. There's a lot to learn from there, and a lot to think about and explore and try and break the rules and see what is possible and not possible. Akhtar Ali says everyone wants to be a UI designer no matter where their background. People are in rat race these days. Akhtar Ali, majority of the India's population is young, and there is a issue of even if you're educated, you're not job ready, you're not employable, and the traditional careers are not working out as satisfactory anymore. They're not giving people what they want. So many people are looking out for what suits them. In that field, what happens is, so many fields offer that, many fields don't offer that. Product management, engineering, startup, tech related fields will offer that. Art fields will offer that, right? Doctors will not offer that. Like medical science is not going to offer you as a hobby, I cut open people. That's not allowed, right? Like you can't go and argue a case as a side project. Only some fields afford that. And when you enter these fields, another thing that happens is you start consuming content, like you're watching this content, which is tailored for people who are starting out. And then you see a lot more people like you. So you can feel like there's a rush that everyone wants to become one. But I assure you, You will see the same enthu if somebody is doing how to become a coder engineer. You will see the same similar question that if you did one about PM, we got similar question. You can watch the PM streams. So it is just a selection bias that you are in a stream where there are a lot of learners. So it feels like everybody wants to switch, but we just have so many people that there's ample people in every field, and it's a great thing that so many people are taking interest, because that's how we will get the next people who will take this industry forward. You are the folks who will take us forward. You are the folks who will break the rules that we thought were unbreakable. You are the folks who will take design into places that has never gone before. You are the folks who will solve the problem of how will the world work in mixed reality. Like, the challenges in front of you are challenges in front of you, and we need the best of you to come across and solve those problems. And then it is great that so many people are taking interest. And another promising thing that I want you to look at optimistically is this is not an easy thing to just switch to. People don't just take that decision willy-nilly, because it's like I mentioned, it's a very confusing trajectory to take, and it's very personalized. You don't know which one to pick. You have to pick one and go with it, and you don't know which one because there's so many options to learn, right? And so many things to learn. So even after that, if somebody's sticking around, they usually have a great intent to stick around as well. So I hope that helps, Dr. Ali, with your feeling. Ashwin says, hey Siddharth, do you feel about making a whole case study for scenario-based UX improvement? If the product has other scenarios with bad UX, which wasn't scope of my case study, would I be judged? No, documentation is always great. Write something. If you're not too sure about it, put it lower in your portfolio. Most people will not scroll down. You can watch me looking at portfolios. Most likely, I'll click the first case study that you have, because in my head, it's likely to be latest and more representative of your current work. But it doesn't need to be latest. It can be your best work as well. Hey bro, should I need to take science or commerce stream to take up? I have answered that exact question. You do not need to, you can scroll up a little, but to short answer, no, you don't need to take up science or commerce. You can take up anything. I don't even have a degree. Like, I took non-medical, I flunked in maths once, then I gave a re-examination where I barely passed, and then I dropped out of college. All right, coming to, just auto topic question. How was your experience has been so far at growth school? How is your day-to-day life different from growth school from head out? Ladri, that's a very good question. It's vastly different, and it's completely different because I'm joining from a relatively established sort of a startup to a completely early stage startup, from having a team of 5 to having a team of me and half bandwidth of another person. So it is not something I can even compare properly. It's completely different lifestyle. Like, earlier I used to run calendar to calendar, like point to point calendar running used to happen. Now there are some days where I'm running exactly on calendar. Some days are completely unstructured where I cannot follow the calendar. And I kind of enjoy the chaos of an early stage because I don't know. It's just more energy. It's a personal choice, and I would say it's vastly different. Maybe when I get enough time, I would attempt to again make day in life, right? But today the problem is day in life is so different that if I make one today, next month it will not be true. Can't make day in life every month. So yeah. Hello, so late. It is already 12. We should wrap up. All right. Wrapping up. I mean to talk to your 25 designers from around the globe in past 3-4 months. Just a weird hobby, right? Abhijit, you are up to something. If you talk to 25 plus designers around the globe in past 3-4 months, I don't know what you're up to, but I like where it's going. You're up to something. I see. Jay, hi King, it's been a long time. How are you, dude? It's been good. Jay, good to see you after a long time. And good to see you, Akshay, after so long. All right, cool. So with that, we got all the questions. If you had fun, write Praja OP in the chat. Because the reason you had fun is because you asked amazing questions and all of you stuck around. If you haven't hit that like button, hit that like button. If you're new around here, make sure you subscribe. We talk about product management, design, building products, building startups, and all sort of shenanigans on this channel. And of course, we often talk about building careers on the internet. And let's have Praja OP in the chat. Let's fill the chat with Praja OP. Let's fill it with Praja OP. Like, nothing should be visible. What kind of girl is your ideal type? बहुत गलत सवाल पूछे हैं. बहुत गलत सवाल पूछे हैं. Already liked. Praja OP. Yes, let's have Praja OP. Let's have Praja OP in the chat. Yes. Praja is indeed OP. Raja OP. All right, Akshay is writing a long one. All right, all right. Thank you so much, folks, for joining in on a Sunday night so late. Love catching up with you, folks, answering your amazing questions, talking to you about various topics, your curiosities, and much more exciting things coming up. Some shots are lined up on Instagram. So if you're not following me on Instagram, make sure you follow me there. See you soon. Shabak Khair, Shubh Ratri, good night, love you, marry me, etc., etc., etc. And what else do people say? What else do people say? ध्यान रखना, खाना के जाना, बाय 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 बाय.